witness the birth of a new story, the rise of heroes and the trials of darkness. The world lies upon the precipice of change. Will you stand or will you fall? Prepare yourself well, traveler, for fate is watching, and the stars are yours to claim.
What can be said about the mysterious elven ranger from the Feywild? Born in Aurora's Vale, the city of light, where magic defined the elven people, Altari Elunéth was born without it. Determined to prove her worth, she trained tirelessly with bow and blade, believing strength could be found beyond the arcane. But despite her efforts, she was only tolerated out of duty and never truly embraced by the Circle of Keepers, the powerful leaders of the Vale. In a defiant attempt to earn their respect, she faced the Keeper's trials. And though her death was assured, she survived against all odds. But Altari's victory was hollow in the death of the man who held her heart. Hardened by grief and forsaking the Keepers, Altari became a guardian, devoted to defending her people from the growing darkness beneath the earth. When the land was torn asunder by quakes and living shadows, she and her company sought the source in a long forgotten ruin. And it was here where Altari would be unmade. For within this ruin, they found an ancient artifact brimming with dark, divine magic. As shadows overwhelmed them, Altari destroyed the orb, only to be struck by a vision of Aurora's Vale consumed by darkness and ash. A deep, foreboding voice carved prophecy into her soul, and the magic of the orb marked her, changing her forever. The explosion of power tore the very fabric of reality, wrenching Altari from the Feywild and casting her through a rift into the material plane. Lost in this new world, Altari grew close to some unlikely companions. She was saved by Blaze, a steadfast paladin who had become her closest friend, and Visilva, the light in her life, cherished like a daughter. Yet, Altari remains haunted by the dark voice from her vision, and the fear that the light of her people will diminish into endless night. Altari now walks the line between light and shadow, uncertain of her future, but determined to carve her own path. With new magic pulsing beneath her skin, Altari only has more questions.
Have you heard of Dasan Thornhoof? No? Then you must listen well, for his is a story of courage, of battles fought beneath the open sky, and of a hunter who stood unshaken before the creatures of nightmare. Born in Serajani's pride, Dasan was different. While others played, he hunted. While others feared the shadows, he sought what lurked within. And so it was that before he had even seen his 15th year, he had already earned recognition from the Serajani elders. But the brighter the flame, the darker the shadow it casts. And none stood in that shadow more than his own brother. You see, on the night of Dasan's 16th ascension rite, Bradwarden, his brother, sought to end Dasan's life. The night should have been a time of celebration, but jealousy turned it into something else. A storm of anger rose from Bradwarden as he attacked Dasan, leading to a big fight. And when it passed, Dasan remained standing, his heart heavy with sorrow. For that same night, his brother was cast out, his voice carrying a promise of vengeance. But Dasan did not linger in the past. No, he set his sights on the world beyond, walking the path of the hunter, the slayer of beasts, wolves, bears, the restless dead, even a cyclops. No matter the foe, Dasan Thornhoof met them with steel in his grip and fire in his heart. They say the monsters feared him. They say his name travels faster than the wind. They say that when the land trembles, it is the hooves of Dasan leaving their mark on the beasts of Nocturne. But his story does not end there. Dasan is still out there hunting.
The name's Forlan Honeywittle, of the esteemed family of Honeywittles, and he needs no grand introduction, though he will gladly provide one. A halfling of unparalleled charm and wit, Forlan is a pirate of great renown, having once sailed beneath the banner of a legendary ship. However, such dark tales are best left in the past, for betrayal and mutiny have stained those memories. Yet Forlan has returned, wiser, bolder, and as dazzling as ever. The undisputed brains of an operation, the very essence of suave sophistication, a champion of drink, and a lion in heart and strength, and also in the sheets, if you know what I mean. Ladies adore him, men want to be him, so he claims. And who would dare disagree with this charismatic paladin? Now, he travels alongside trusted companions Altari, Visilva, Blaze, and of course, the radiant love of his life, the beautiful Shadow. Together, they embark on a journey of peril and promise, seeking adventure, fortune, and most importantly, Shadow's lost ship, the Obsidian. Through danger and revelry alike, Forlan Honeywittle remains as ever unforgettable. Chaos follows wherever he treads, whether by wit, charm, or sheer audacity, who can really say? So remember the name, for it shall be forever lingering in your thoughts, whispered in admiration, long after the adventure ends.
Black sails fluttering in salty winds, and waves kissing the belly of her ship. Her true name known by most and feared by all who sail the seven seas. But alas, this bliss is but a distant memory for Shadow, as betrayal strikes her in the back by her former second-in-command. Exiled and stripped of her title, a flicker of light is shown from within the ocean. Di-Astrogen, the new goddess of the sea, gave Shadow a second chance. Sassy, foul-mouthed, reasonable, and yet dependable, she became a cleric of the Tempest. Just as the tides are ever-changing, Shadow ran into an old foe who became her new partner in crime, and maybe in life, known as Forlan Honeywittle. Goals aligning and dreams growing, they set off to regain Shadow's true name and her legendary ship.
Visilva's story begins in Kandura, a world where magic is feared and nearly non-existent, except near the borders, where it seeps in from other realms. She was never meant to be there, not truly. A changeling child left behind in place of a stolen human infant. But Visilva was not alone. She and the stolen child shared a bond deeper than blood, an unbreakable psychic connection. They were sisters, two halves of the same coin, separated by fate. For the first few years of Visilva's life, she lived as any child would, unaware of her true nature. That changed when at the age of 5, she shifted for the first and only time. In a moment of innocent play, her form changed before the eyes of her friends. Fear swept through the village. Her family, the people she had trusted most, turned against her. She was cast out, abandoned on the streets. She survived alone, stealing to keep herself alive, unseen and unwanted. Years passed in the shadows, until a stranger arrived in town. He was the first person in years to show her kindness, and more than that, he carried magic with him. When he stepped through a portal into another world, a world where magic was not a curse, but a gift, Visilva followed. Now she walks a path between worlds, with two dreams guiding her steps: to be reunited with her sister and to find a family where she truly belongs.
Hello and welcome back to Roll Without a Trace. My name is Wayne and I am your Dungeon Master, and we have been away for a little while. We are back. And might I say, better than before. Before we get into tonight's episode, we have some announcements to make. And yes, this is session 1, our first time back on stream, but we already have announcements. So, first things first, the incredible art that you have just seen in those character bios was done, as well as literally every bit of art on this channel, by Stash, who is here as Altari. The music in the intro is a very big thanks and courtesy of OSAV Media. Yes, I got that right. And the music you will be hearing throughout the background of stream is courtesy of Travis Savoie. Links to everybody's socials and YouTubes and all those fun things can be found down below in the doobly-doos under special thanks. Now, before we have a formal or a more formal introduction to the players, you might notice that we are starting kind of in the middle of something. It's the beginning of the new arc, but just sit back, enjoy the shenanigans of the group, enjoy the chaos, enjoy the adventures, and you'll very quickly pick up what is going on. Before we dive in, we're going to go one by one. We'll go alphabetically by characters. You just want to introduce yourself. You don't have to give any long-winded speeches about who you are or anything. Just a hello, who you are, and who you're playing. Altari.
Thank you, wonderful Dungeon Master. I am Altari. I am played by Stash, and I am an Elven Ranger from the Feywild, transported to the material plane and finding myself on a journey with some other wonderful companions. I use a bow with blades and 2 short swords, and yeah, that is me.
Wonderful. Next would be our local big boy paladin, but Blaze is currently away, but he will be returning soon. So instead we go to somebody who is not here yet, so we will skip him actually. Forlan.
So, my name is Forlan Honeywittle, and I am played by Tarquin. I am a paladin who is also a pirate, and rather suave, yet also very chaotic. I hope you enjoy this adventure with us.
Shadow. Shadow.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. Glitch. Technical difficulties. Where's the fun without them? Okay, but hi. I am playing Shadow, and my name is Bee. She is a cleric of the Tempest, which is also a pirate. And I do hope you enjoy her sass.
And last but not least, Visilva.
Hello, I'm Visilva. I'm played by Radioactive Rabbit. Oh, I am Radioactive Rabbit. I play Visilva. Whatever. I am the child of the group, and even though the DM said no pets, I have done a very good job at collecting pets.
This is very true. So, and a rather speed-run catch-up of everything you need to know. Party started off by going into the town of Phandalin, where they were tasked with slaying a young white dragon. Along the way, they met some companions, some that'll come up later again, some that won't. And they started uncovering a little bit about their past and how they are intertwined. Having slain the dragon, having to deal with a few orcs who were a little bit less than thrilled about the betrayal they suffered at the hands of the party, Forlan was given a choice to save the town of Handlin or save his friends. He chose to save his friends, leading to the town of Handlin supposedly being burnt to the ground.
Oops.
Whoops. It is here that they traveled to the dry docks, I guess we'll call them, where Liliana, who has taken a very unhealthy obsession to Forlan, and her family, who own the airship, was waiting for them. They were going to take, or they are taking the party to the small island of Vestenkima, part of the Axel Isles. Before boarding, though, Shadow had disappeared. In a bid to find her, the party, with Forlan leading, encountered the Markovian family. It is here where they learnt of the vampire clan. The party was asked if they would be willing to do a little bit of business with this family in exchange for the obsidian which they have in their possession. They would require the party to take out the key members of the Van Havensong family, a rival mafia of sorts of vampire hunters. After quite a lot of convincing and bargaining, Forlan agreed. Boarding the airship, realizing the arcane engines of this spelljammer were being drained by an unknown source. A unscheduled stop would have to be made on the small, remote island of Savoie. Upon landing and disembarking the ship, some in more normal ways than others, the party was introduced to Governor Isabella, who told them that her daughter and her daughter's lover had gone missing. She asked the party if they would be willing to just go and have a look around their last known location by the Cave of Echoes, which would lead, or which used to lead, into the Eternal Gardens. However, the Eternal Gardens has recently been vanished, has been the portal, if you will, had been closed. Stepping through the portal, we find ourselves where we are tonight, with the party of Visilva, Altari, Shadow, and Forlan standing in a circle made up of little toadstools, with a few leprechauns sitting and watching. We will continue our story here on tonight's episode of Roll Without Trace. And we are back. And just before we do start, that intro was also done entirely visually by Stash and assisted musically by OSAV Media. And mine is, like, genuinely, I cannot comprehend that. It is absolutely incredible. But now, enough of that. You didn't come here to listen to me thank people. So, we start our game. The long-awaited return. The four of you find yourselves standing in a large clearing in the forest. Or, let me rephrase, what looks to be a forest. You're surrounded by trees. The toadstools of various sizes forming a almost too perfect circle around the four of you. You see the leprechauns sitting on some of the larger, more chair-sized toadstools. What would you guys like to do?
Altari is just going to look around and just sort of assess her surroundings. But you can see that there's a smile on her face, but she's almost smiling, but also being cautious because there's a bit of a familiarity in the surroundings that reminds her a little bit of home. And she's just going to look around, look at the grass, take in the colors around her, notice the toadstools and the leprechaun sitting there, but just go over to a tree and just put her hand on the tree and just breathe in the air and just feel the sun, feel the colors, almost as though the colors are tangible and the air is sweet, and just bask in the space.
Sorry, I accidentally opened the browser and I started hearing everything twice. That threw me off so much. Okay, so Altari is taking in the scenery, just really being in the moment, absorbing what is going on around her. Shadow, Forlan, and Visilva. What about the three of you?
Shadow's gonna put Visilva down, and then also just take in the surroundings, but clock where all the leprechauns are and what if there's any other things surrounding her. Like making a mental note of where everything is.
Forlan?
Forlan is going to... So he obviously walked through in a very sulking and sullen mood. And at the sight of all of this, he is going to step back, almost like he's feeling a bit of fear, seeing all of this around him. He's going to look over at the leprechauns, and do they seem hostile in any way?
Give me an insight check.
Insight. Okay. Insight. That is 15.
They don't appear to be hostile at all. They're sitting watching you. They've got these smiles on their face, and you can see this very playful expression, this very playful energy just radiating from them.
Forlan's going to... He's, like I say, he's uneasy at the moment. He's trying to figure out what is going on around him. And he's just going to keep his hand on the hilt of his blade, being cautious about his surroundings. And just underneath his breath, he's saying, where the fuck are we?
And Visilva, what are you doing as you come?
Visilva's just gonna tap Shadow and look around as well. Then when Shadow puts her down, just tap her, and she's like, "Is this the Feywild?" Just gonna whisper a bit because no one else seems to be talking.
Sweetie, I think you're asking the wrong person.
Okay.
You see as you have just started to come to terms with where you are. One of the little leprechauns, a little green dude, wearing this red vest with this red top hat, long white beard, braided, hops down, skins like an olivish green, and heads up towards you, looking up to all of you. Yeah, well then, it's been a while since we got new visitors here.
We all understand him immediately. Is he speaking common?
He is speaking common.
I'm going to look at him and give him the bow of my people and just... Ines Ira. Where are we?
You're in the Eternal Gardens, of course. Wonderful place.
It feels louder than I remember, but it also doesn't feel quite the same.
He kind of like cocks his head at that. Louder than you remember? You've been here before.
It's got a very familiar feeling, very Feywild-esque. So I'm only curious as to whether or not it shares the essence of the Feywild.
That depends on who you ask. Some will say it does, some will say it doesn't.
So is the Feywild or not?
Yeah, again, yes, no, a bit of both.
I mean, how vague can you get?
Sounds like the Feywild, all right.
It can get a lot vaguer. But now, what brings you here to our lovely part of the woods?
Forlan looks at him and says, with like a little bit of anxiety in his eyes, he's like, "We're looking for two. What are they? People? Other races? Two younglings that ran off here to find love and apparently run away from their parents."
Oh, you're looking for geez, what are their names? He looks back over to the leprechauns all perched on their toadstools. What were those two's names? Those ones who came through here not all that long ago. You see one of the female leprechauns with this like bright blue hair. You think maybe she's talking about Juliana and Orlando? The older
Yes.
one looks towards you. Oh, of course, yes, we know them. They came in here, what was it, 3-4 weeks ago?
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Aye.
Have they come past you ever again?
They're somewhere in here. Unless they got
Did
out,
you-
which I highly doubt.
Why do you doubt?
Because you see, to exit this place, you need a... how can I say? You need a special key, per se, if you're wanting to come through the ring again.
And where
Do we
was
get stuck
the
here?
key found?
He kind of like just stares at you for a little bit before he just like gives you this very toothy grin. Oh, now that would be telling, wouldn't it?
Told to begin with, so why not finish the story?
I've done a awful lot of talking. Why don't you tell me who all of you are before I tell you anything more?
Would that instill,
We might be willing.
would that instill some trust in you to finish your story and maybe give us the info to get out of your hair?
Aye, of course. The more you speak, the more I'll speak in return.
That smile of yours should come with a warning sign.
Suddenly can't remember any words.
Very well then. My name is Shadow, and we were commissioned to find these two children by their parents, which are very worried about them.
You just see Altari like scrunch her face as if she wanted to stop you, but she's just like, oh. Shadow is more of a title that she goes by, if you wish to call her that.
That's what I'm
Alright.
told.
From the way Altari said that, I'm going to assume we shouldn't tell this guy our real names.
She walks in shadow and light and here and there.
Alright,
That's the
well,
lovely thing that bestowed upon me.
it's a lovely... You see, like, he kind of... And he scrunches his eyes. Give me a deception or persuasion check, Altari.
"14."
He scrunches his face to you and... Lovely title, he says. Kind of unsure about whether it actually is or not, but he seems to be believing you that that's not really her name.
I'll take it. I just want to like shoot a glance to Shadow and just see if she catches it. Like,
She's just gonna lift up her shoulders like, what?
Yeah.
It's like the big she can get.
What you talking about, Russ? Right. What of the rest of you?
we are merely wanderers searching for our quarry, searching for other friends that have passed through here. You've already traded us information by telling us that they have passed, and we have told you that we have come from the other, well, beyond the door. We come from the same place that these travelers come from. A statement for a statement.
Right.
Perhaps we could continue to trade in stories and statements.
We could certainly do that. Very well.
May the stars guide your mischief, and may your thorns stay hidden, friend.
The key, I suppose, if you want to call it, it's not actually a physical key, but if you're looking for it, you might want to go look in the Palace of Spires.
Palace of Spires.
Where exactly is this palace?
That's a little bit of a tricky question.
Is there any potential chance of you untricking it for us?
Yes and no. You see, the problem is it's the Eternal Gardens is kind of I don't know how much of the planes you understand, but it's kind of a demi-plane. So a little pocket plane of its own. You see, the problem is the Palace of Spires is a pocket plane within this pocket plane. So we don't actually know where it is. I found it once or twice by mistake.
And did you replicate this mistake to find it, or was it by luck?
It was dumb luck. I don't even know what I did.
Could I ask, were you sober when you did it?
I don't know the meaning of the word sober.
Neither does Forlan, honestly.
Oh, well then he'll be perfectly fine here. He, like, as he says that, he reaches into his satchel and he pulls out a little mushroom and he just holds it towards Forlan.
Forlan looks at the rest of the party. And then, like, he gives them, like, a look that's like, do you think this is a good idea?
If you have something to offer in return.
No. Do I require payment, my good man? Because you can see Forlan, like, release the hilt of his blade a little bit. Well, actually completely, because he found it quite amusing that he said Forlan fit in.
Oh, you're a cheap bastard, aren't you?
I try to warn you.
You the one offering? I'm just
A
asking
man
if you
offers you
require...
something and you're asking about payment.
Do you require payment? I mean, just from where I come from, whenever somebody offers you something, you usually do give them money for it.
So you've never gotten anything just as a handout, as a nicety from where you are. Sounds like a very sad place to live. Consider this your first free gift ever. You can have it.
Does Shadow believe?
Sorry, it's very uneasy.
You see Fallen just like cautiously, slowly reach over and grab the mushroom. And he looks at it and he's like, so what do I do with this?
Not eat it to start with.
Like, as you ask that, well, like, just before Shadow saying that, you see the leprechaun kind of just look back at the others, like, with this exasperated look on his face, and they just kind of sit there shrugging, like,
And what did Shadow say?
Not to eat it.
No.
At hearing not to eat it, he turns like this even more shocked like expression to you. Not to eat it. It's a mushroom. What else are you going to do with it?
Oh,
No, if the mushroom's not poisonous to us.
I wouldn't give you anything that's going to kill you.
But how would you know it wouldn't kill us?
can I do an insight check?
Yeah, sure. Give me an insight check.
That is... Fuck, that's a 12.
With your 12, you can see that he is like confused and exasperated, but he has no malicious intent in him. This is genuine confusion as to why you won't eat the fucking mushroom.
I look at the party and I'm like, I don't think he's lying. But I also... I don't want to piss off Shadow.
That's already too late, dude.
Yeah.
Good sir. When you... I just want to ask you this quickly. Do you ever feel like you get in trouble for something? Do you go against the thing that is going to reprimand you for the trouble?
He kind of just like looks at you, blinks a few times. I don't understand the question.
I unfortunately have a lot of apologizing to do. So, when the missus says that I should not do something, I unfortunately cannot do so.
You see, he just like starts laughing. He starts laughing. Oh, okay. Okay, I understand now. Why didn't you just say you're what's that saying? Oh, you're whipped.
Oh,
It's
Is
okay,
he
don't feel
falling?
bad. Lots of the short men are.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
You
you're
saying just because?
excused.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, I like him.
Fallen gives this like really, the jeering manner like underneath his face where he does that scrunching and he's just like, but he doesn't say it out loud. He just does it to himself. And he slowly puts the mushroom into his pack.
The blue-head leprechaun just. Oi! Why don't you tell them of its 2 limericks? Hold on, looks back. I was saving it for later, but fine. Okay, so. I may have been mildly lying. I kind of know where the Palace of Spires is, or at least how to get there, but we're going to make it a little bit more fun. I will tell you, but I'm not going to tell you.
A fair trade?
Oh, lovely. Is this some sort of riddle?
It's a limerick.
What's that?
A form of poetry?
Sounds like the thing I'm supposed to put in my drink.
You think everything is supposed to be put into a drink?
Oh, please do not put the mushroom in the
I
drink.
can't even figure out what you think a limerick is.
I'm just saying most things do fit in the drink.
No, they don't.
If you chop it properly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first one. Some may think our maze is a pest, but it shelters a haven of rest. And ere anyone leaves, they must leave more than leaves, and then honor our master's request.
I'm assuming this is a riddle.
What?
Always seems to figure out an answer for this, right?
You do not have very good listening, do you?
Can you say it slower?
If you're asking to say it slower for notes, it's in Discord.
I think Visilva's actually also asking for it to just be said slower.
Okay, that's all I'm clear. If it's players asking, it's in Discord. If it's characters, then I will go with it.
Bold of you to assume I take notes of important things.
Some may think our maze is a pest, but it shelters a haven of rest. And ere anyone leaves, they must leave more than leaves, and then honor our master's request.
Okay, so something about a maze, something about, I'm assuming the metaphorical discussion of leaves being something other than leaves, potentially being either money or something you have to give,
Well,
and your master's request.
let me give you the other one, and then you can make do with it as you wish.
Sure.
There are leaves in the garden to trace, and a maze with a clear central space. With a leaf in your hand, you could stand and stand, but to leave the leaves in place.
Don't touch the garden.
So follow the leaves, but leave the leaves behind.
Follow the leaves, but don't touch the garden.
So follow the leader.
Oh,
And there's a request that needs to be filled.
I almost forgot to give you the most important part, the most important one of them all. There once was a young man from Savoie who was stung on the nose by a wasp. We said, "Does it hurt?" He replied, "Not at all. He can do it again if it likes." And as he finishes, you see all 5 of the leprechauns just burst out into laughter, clutching their stomachs. They are
Altari
uncontrollably laughing at this point.
Well, Silver's just gonna lean over to Shadow and be like, I don't get the joke.
Forlan leans over to Visilva, who came, and says, "Neither do I."
I'll just lean in closer and say to them, if this place is anything like the Fae that I know, they are very mischievous and they enjoy the misfortune of others. It's cathartic for them.
I mean,
So just be careful. It's a good place to learn humility, let's say that.
I may be channeling Blaze here, but what happens if we just kill them all?
I think that would not be a good idea. Not in a place like this.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means that not all is as it seems, Fallen. Everything is cheery and colorful and happy now. It's all jovial and jokes, but it can turn at but an instant. Much like those mud creatures we faced 5 minutes ago. Could be 5 hours. Who knows how time works in this place?
Which one of the 4 of you? I'm going to assume, but please correct me if I am wrong. I'm going to assume Altari because of being a ranger and having a bit more of an affinity towards nature. Which one of the 4 of you would you say is more nature inclined?
Is that a question directed
not
to...
me.
I mean, is that directed to our personalities or our...
Attributes or skills.
Who would be better at noticing naturey stuff?
Probably me.
More than likely Altari.
Alright, I'll give it to Altari also because of the slight more understanding of the Feywild. Give me a survival or a nature check, Altari.
Anything to add to that at all, or just straight?
Just straight.
Yeah, I'll know. Okay, can I choose?
You can choose whichever one you prefer.
Okay, I'm going to do survival because I'm in survival mode right now.
Sure.
That is 24.
Jesus, okay, yeah, no. Easily enough. You... Whilst they are discussing during the times of the limericks and the little bits of back and forths, trying to figure out what everything means, after the 3rd one where they all break into laughter, you see the 4 leprechauns at the back, each wearing a hat, have a distinct and unique leaf, like a dried leaf, a dried leaf stuck onto their hat. And I will give you the leaves since that was a really good roll. One of them is a shamrock.
Mm-hmm.
The other is oak.
Mm-hmm.
3rd is a mistletoe. And last is technically more of a plant than a leaf, but it is a dog rose.
Dog rose.
Do
I know what any of these leaves would mean?
I mean, you would... I'd say the shamrock you would associate with leprechauns, just in general.
Yeah.
The oak and mistletoe, not really. They kind of just are leaves. And the dog rose, you would know, is a herbal medicinal type thing that's very commonly used in fey medicine. Elixirs is the word I was looking for. But I'd say that's all in the context of to why they're there, and that you would not necessarily know.
I am no good at puzzles, but I'm going to relay this to the rest. Do you guys notice the leaves on their heads, on their hats?
As soon as it's pointed out, you will.
But I'll just do it like discreetly.
Sure. I will also give you this. You have no fear of them hearing you. They are still all bawling with laughter, lying on the floor. They are like children that are like one starts laughing, then the next starts laughing, and then it spirals. And as soon as one stops, and they all sit there in silence and look at each other for just half a second, they burst out laughing again.
So basically, they're all high on mushrooms. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get much more out of them, but I also don't know if the leaves on their hats have anything to do with the limerick and the directions. I think that the directions were vaguely given to us in the limerick, I suppose. But I also feel that perhaps to find this place we should not be looking if we found it accidentally.
I mean, they did bring up leaves a lot.
Well, nature's very sacred to the Fae, and these are... I do know that these are Fae creatures, obviously, right?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Without a doubt.
Yeah, I was just making doubly sure. But, I mean, nature is very sacred to these creatures, and they do respect, I suppose, leaves and branches and the earth and all of that. So as long as we show respect to the earth around us, we shouldn't find much trouble. Don't take any leaves.
Sorry, this is probably a very stupid question, but you saying we need to respect nature. Do I need to apologize for every blade of grass I step on?
Not quite to that extent, no. The grass doesn't mind being stepped on because it was meant to be that. It was meant to be comfort for your feet, for your boots, and to guide the path, if that makes sense.
Does grass know this?
Have you asked it?
You know, I think I can speak with animals, not plants, just yet.
Well, when you find out, I would love to know.
They said maze a lot. Well, they spoke about a maze as well in both of those. What's it, limericks?
Yeah.
And something about holding a leaf in hand and stand and stand. Does that mean if we? And again, mimicking what Milady has said, does that mean I worry because this is potentially me disrespecting the nature and all that kind of thing here. I don't understand how all of this works. So does that mean I should not take one of these leprechaun and then stand on the head of another?
I don't think that's quite correct. But I'm wondering if it's perhaps possible to trade for the hats or for the leaves on the hats. Or if that's not the answer to the riddle, if perhaps the leaves on the hats lead somewhere.
What do you mean?
I really suck at puzzles.
I'm going to be honest, I dropped out of school at like 5. I don't know what's going on with riddles.
I had an attractive teacher, so unfortunately I passed school by luck.
Okay. We've got a few options if we're looking at the whole leaf angle. So 1, we trade for the hats with the leaves. 2, we look for the trees with the leaves.
But they all say leaves, they don't mention types of leaves.
Then why does each leprechaun have a different leaf on its hat? Or at least what those for?
Ah, fair.
I think Shadow's onto something though, because they're of this realm, so they have the different leaves on their hats, sure, but one of the instructions from the limerick said that there are leaves in the garden to trace. So perhaps following the leaves will lead us through the maze, finding the different leaves from the different trees.
The maze is also mentioned as a pest, but is a place of rest. So instead of trying to fight the maze, maybe we need to rest or relax to find the maze or something. I might be reading into it, but
You could be onto something there. Because
mazes of any kind is a pain in the ass.
and causes severe frustration when having to get lost in them. Do you think perhaps it could be for us to... could I actually... this is me as Tarquin asking. Can we just take note of which order, or can you... Wayne, would you be able to tell us the order that they are sitting in? Like the leaf order.
Sure.
Shamrock, oak, mistletoe, and dog rose.
We'll go.
I don't think it's... I mean, they're all kind of giggling and looking and laughing on the floor. I don't know if they're really in any particular order. It was just
They were sitting in a order, but by this point they've moved around. They're not standing. You know, they're not staying in a specific order.
I'm trying. Would we be able to recall the order that they were in when we sat down, perchance?
I'd say. I'm gonna say no because you. Well, actually, because you could have been paying attention. Yeah, but you could. Yeah, you wouldn't really have been looking at.
Okay.
At this. Yeah, you wouldn't have thought to take note of their order, but if you want, you can give me a history check. It is going to be a relatively high DC, though.
Might as well try.
I'll chalk it up to more you remembered which person was sitting where more so than the leaves.
Okay.
Well, they had different colors.
No, everyone's wearing wearing this, not the same, but very similar red vesty things, and their hats are all fairly similar. It's more the only really distinct hat is the elder one, who's got like these sticks kind of like coming off of it, kind of like acting like antlers. But the other three all are dressed fairly similarly. I mean, it's the thing of you have to look closely to notice the little, personal differences that they've done with their clothing.
For my history check, I had 18 plus 1, 19.
I'd say you're fairly certain that it is the order that I gave them in.
Okay.
But not confident in it, but you're...
So, like, I'm sure it is that order, but, like, my brain is, like, second-guessing.
Yeah, it's that thing of, like, I'm pretty sure it is, but if somebody had to tell me I'm wrong, I would not be surprised.
Okay. I look to them, to the party, and I say, what if we just ask them at least the direction we can start this entire search?
I mean, worst case, they just don't give us a clear answer.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get lost here anyway. There's a maze which we potentially have to either sleep in or, I don't know, rest. Something along those lines. So we might as well just at least try finding out what the correct direction to go is.
That's also assuming that they mean an actual maze. The maze might be a metaphoric concept of traversing through a space looking for what you're looking for.
Or the maze is their explanation.
I mean, unless the standing
So
on
confusing.
the standing holding leaves is a metaphorical thing of having to get stronger, I worry that it's more going to be a physical maze we have to get through. And if what you're saying is correct with all of this leaf and weird place business, we're going to be here for a while. So taking the risk of being physical could be a better option.
I don't know if we're supposed to just have leaf, because the thing said if you have a leaf in hand, you can stand and stand, but to leave the leaves in place. So perhaps having the leaves prevents you from moving on and looking for whatever you're looking for. So perhaps follow the leaves rather than have the leaves. Yes, Shadow.
Is this the only clearing that we can see from the spot that we are standing?
From where you are standing, you are in the only clearing, yeah, because you just see you are surrounded by trees. Give me a perception check.
Trees.
That would be a 21.
Nice. You do see you are in quite a large clearing. Sorry, let me just get the map to get my directions. Okay, so if north is straight up, you see kind of to the northeast there's a bridge off in the distance, same with towards the southeast. And in an easterly direction you see another bridge, and you see that bridge leads to what looks to be a giant, like a Musa giant oak tree. You can see the top of this oak tree. You even see some of the trunk still towering above the rest of the trees.
I think we should follow the leaves.
There's leaves all around us.
Well, of the leaves that are in the hats.
But they're moving.
Sorry. While we're on the whole leaf thing, Altari, oak is one of the leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, and Shadow points to the direction of the massive fucking oak tree.
Are there any other leaves that we can notice in the nearby vicinity? I know that the others are quite small.
The other the trees around you are just your regular trees. I know that is the broadest thing I've ever said, but they are
trees.
They are regular.
How very 14 of you.
They were trees.
Hey, Wild is getting to you.
They are trees.
Long up and down.
But no, you don't notice any other trees around.
What?
I mean, that's a start. I think we should go at least head over there and see, once we get there, we can see further, see what else we can find.
Or maybe when you're there, you can ask. You see the older one kind of like trying to compose himself. Maybe you can ask the other one if he's figured anything out.
The other one?
Hey, the big, confused cow-looking whatever it is.
Gonna start looking around for a cow. Do I see a cow anywhere?
Description?
Are there other travelers that pass through here?
Sorry, I'm just reading something. Oh, that was funny. description. There was another bloke who came through a week and a half ago. He looks like, I don't know. Have you ever seen those very old paintings? You can clearly tell whoever made the painting has never seen the thing they've painted before. They're going off of
Yes.
somebody's description that was told to them by somebody else, that was told to them by somebody else, that was told to them by the person who saw the thing. That is what this guy looks like. He looks like somebody painted something that they've never seen before. It is confusing. It is big. But that is what this is. He came through, and he hangs out there by the old oak tree when he's not running around doing his own thing.
Perhaps we should seek this cow out.
Yeah, maybe
Well,
that's
at
a
least
good
by the
idea.
oak tree.
Not a bad idea.
What's the first tree in the order?
Well,
Cow.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
This is where Visilva's moment. Can I try find the cow?
Oh, good gosh. Does this mean for Visilva to get another pet? If it's a cow, does that mean you have to put a bell on it?
Oh,
Okay, Visilva, I just want to know, what are you trying to?
Take our cow.
Visilva's just very intently gonna start looking around, trying to find any signs of a cow passing through.
Yeah, go.
And she's gonna
What
go,
is it
here,
gonna
Moo. Here,
yeah,
Moo.
Moo.
oh.
What would
So I
be
don't have
very
any
interesting
coffee
is
to
if
give
cow
them.
talked back. I think we should head over to the oak tree and see what we can find there. Shadow's
Is
onto
that-
something there.
Is that the first one in the list?
Let's head to the... I'm gonna start walking to the tree. I'll just give a little bow to the leprechauns. And just... I'm not really sure what to say.
Fare thee well, short sirs.
As
May
you
the sun shine brightly on your day.
start moving away, Forlan,
Moving.
moving. Forlan, where did you put the mushroom you were given?
I put it so on the side of my satchel.
Yeah, so satchel. That's the thing I need to know.
Gonna sprout arms, isn't it? And under his belt buckle.
As you start moving, whoever's walking behind you at this stage will notice it first, but you start to notice as you see what seems to be a few more mushrooms starting to sprout on the satchel, and a moment or two later, like within a minute of having started walking, the satchel is completely covered in these different colored mushrooms. You see some of them dropping spores as Forlan walks. The mushrooms starting to make their way up the strap, and just pretty much covering the entirety of the thing, just sprouting in little mushrooms.
Do I see this at any point?
You will notice it, but the others will notice it first, as they'll see it, because you're not walking looking at your satchel, but you will definitely notice it.
The problem is, I have a feeling that I'm going to be the last in the line because Altari's walked, Visilva's checking for cows, and Shadow's mad at me, so she's not going to walk with me.
Yeah, well then, if you're at the back, then no one will notice it, but you will eventually have a satchel covered in mushrooms.
Lovely. So I would eventually notice it.
Definitely, yes.
I hold up the satchel. Actually, no. I'm going to immediately drop it, and then I'm going to take. I'm going to look around for a stick, and then take the stick and lift up the satchel and hold it out in front, and I shout as loud as I can, "What the fuck is going on here?" And I shout, "My lady!"
I was gonna look back at what's going on with Forlan. I mean, like, must be the humidity.
Help me! Help me!
Do not know what moldy shit you left in that thing for it to become like that.
This is the satchel that I used to store the mushroom that the little fucker gave me.
Well, I suppose it kind of counts as rations.
Rations? Look at the colors. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to eat something that is green.
Well, can you imagine if you actually ate this, what it would have done to you? You would have turned into a walking mushroom.
Oh, my lady.
When I had a mother, she used to tell me I had to eat my greens.
When I had a mother.
Forlan looks at Visilva. This is here to talk about eating greens. I look back at Shadow and is like, "My lady, I'm very sorry. Please, can you help me? I'm very worried because it touched my clothing. It touched my clothing. I like my armor.
Well, I'm gonna be wearing a mushroom suit.
Please, I don't want to replace it. It's still.
Yeah.
Have you tried asking them to climb off?
What?
Have you tried asking them to climb off?
Ha ha, very funny.
I'm quite serious.
You're joking, right? You don't expect me to actually speak to mushrooms.
Shadow will walk over to
What's
the bag,
happening to this?
punch down, and then lightly ask the mushrooms, "Will you please dislocate yourself from this bag, since you do not know what filth will lie in it, and I fear for your lives, my beautiful darlings."
You hear these like very rather soft but quite high pitched. Okay, and then like it kind of like starts echoing across the bag, and you hear these little and kind of very Alice in Wonderland like they start like marching towards up the satchel, across the stick down Forlan's arm, kind of just like using him as like this spiral thing. You know, watch as these mushrooms all just walking and just start plodding back off to the toadstool circle.
I didn't think that would actually work.
Shadow will, like, while she's still hunched, look up at Altari, point a finger. If this shit did not work and you made me look like a fucking ass, I would have your hide. But thank you. I shall get up.
Visilva's just watching this, and she has a new dream unlocked.
I'm gonna take the mushroom out of my bag. The myconid mushroom from the mine.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like shriveled and sad, but I want to just like lay it on the floor and see if anything happens to it. Go be with your friends.
So it kind of lies there for a moment before it just kind of starts teetering, and then it just like kind of like okay, so it's obviously a bit dried out. So at first like teeters a bit, and it's like and like fluffs itself back to almost looking like it's just been picked, and then a little bit later kind of clips up, and it looks kind of like it's just chasing after the other queue that are still just marching on.
I'm so happy right now. He has a family now.
Forlan's going to look up at Shadow and with the biggest puppy dog face on his like right now. He's gonna say, "Thank you so much, milady."
Don't even. I feel like I smoked something and I don't know what it is. And it is bothering the fuck out of me.
I feel like we're all about to feel like we smoked something here.
Because I feel fine.
Why couldn't it just be alcohol? Alcohol is our friend. Alcohol knows what we like. Alcohol doesn't fuck with us in that way.
After Silva saw this happen with the mushroom from Altari's bag, she's gonna sit down and she's gonna start digging through her bag, trying to see if she can find any vegetable, any plant in her bag. I don't think she has anything though.
They're alive.
I'll never eat a mushroom again.
Oh.
Well, you never know what can happen in the Fey realm.
I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like this. Why are we doing this? Why are we here? This is scary.
Okay, Altari, you are quite familiar with all of this, right?
Somewhat. I mean, something about this place definitely feels familiar, and I didn't really acquaint much with all the Fae back home. I mean, I lived in the city, but I know a fair amount of the Feywild and the creatures that inhabit the realms, I suppose. I mean, the first thing you should know about the Feywild is that it's weird and whimsical and defies all the norms that you're used to from the material plane, so if it feels strange and mysterious, it probably is.
I'm not supposed to give out your name or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, do not give out your name. It gives them power over you.
Well, then how about you take points on this and the rest of us will follow? And as you remember
Gladly.
to please inform us of this, because if you can't give me a rule book about what I'm supposed to do, then I'm going to keep doing what I do.
I can give you a rule book, but even then it would be not enough. I will say this, though. First and foremost, do not give your name to anyone who asks. You can trade in any items. The Fae deal with deals. They like gifts and trinkets and objects. They don't really care much for gold. They like things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything physical. You can also trade a story for a story, or an item for a memory, or a lock of your hair. Literally anything that has value to you that they might find interest in. And try not to get into any deals. Try not to make any bargains or offer your thanks or anything like that, because any sort of deal here is binding and could descend beyond your own descendants. So just be careful with your words and always be polite. I look at Forlan and I just smile.
Like
Am I gonna have to deal with happiness and kindness to every one of these fuckers here?
It's not all happiness and kindness and sunshine and rainbows. This place is devious and dangerous.
Well, then
It's
why
all
can't
a
we just
facade.
swing axes and kill people and throw fire?
No, because that doesn't work here either. Even the nature is reactive. The realm is alive with magic. The air you breathe is magic. It responds to your emotions and to your very essence. If you set it on fire, it might be worse to you.
Altari, you say that like I don't react to my emotions.
It's perfectly
Everyone
fine
knows
to
you're
react
so
to your
calm.
emotions. But just understand that here it sets off a chain reaction. So at least try to hold it in.
Darling, with
Hey,
This is some very good practice for you, is it not?
Me?
Yes, you.
Look, we've all got each other's backs here.
Fallen sighs and is okay. Can I first start with just saying I'm sorry, milady? Please.
Sorry?
Tree, yes?
Sorry? You cut out there on the first part.
We are heading to the oak tree. Yes?
Is that a yes for the sorry?
And Shadow walks in the direction of the oak tree.
I'll just turn to Fallen. You know she does care for you. That's why she's acting like this.
I know, and I...
And I'll walk off.
Leaving this man in suspense.
as Fallen, as you swear off like that again, you notice a little rain cloud kind of just forming over your head, and it's going to be raining on you, solely on you.
Gordon looks up and he said, like, literally, he's like, he takes in a deep breath and then sighs deeply and is like, fucking son of a bitch.
Give me a dexterity check, please.
Check.
Mm-hmm.
Do I just roll my dex modus like that?
Yeah.
Not a saving throw, right?
Just a check.
Okay.
Give me a dex check. Yeah, my dex is still there.
Nat 20.
How much?
Nat 20 plus 2.
Jesus.
Fuck yeah.
Well, you will be taking half damage. Unfortunately, that's not going to do too much, but half damage is still good. And that's a really crappy roll.
Emotional damage.
You're only going to take 4 points of lightning or thunder damage as this bolt of lightning just jolts down from the cloud, smacking you.
I take my firstly, I get the lightning bolt and I fucking tense up as much as possible, and then Fallen like grits his teeth and tries to like bite through it, but is really hurt right now and is really annoyed and really angry, and then he's gonna say, "Fuck." He keeps on trying to hold in every single swear that he can, that he knows under the sun. And he keeps up, and he says a word which I'm not going to say on stream, so, you know. Then he's going to take his hands, put it on his chest, and he's going to lay on hands the rest of his magic pool so that he can heal himself.
Sure.
So that's 15 points of healing.
Sure.
But yeah, because Fallen took damage in the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh!
Didn't you know?
If I look back, will I still see the little storm cloud above him?
It is there.
I'm just gonna chuckle to myself as I see Fallen like struggling with his like mouth, I guess, holding himself together. I'm just gonna go over to him and just like wave my hands above his head, just be like, "Shoo, go back to the guy."
You see him take out his blade, out his sword, and he's just like trying to swing it at Why does this thing not want to go away? I'm not using swear words anymore.
I think it's the swear words, Fallen.
I've stopped using the swear words. Can it go away now?
I think it finds you rather amusing to play with.
I'm glad it finds me amusing. I find it annoying. Irksome. Stressful. What is this thing doing? What did I do to deserve this?
You see as
Please don't take this the wrong way. I need you to just try and relax. Yeah?
like as Poland's getting frustrated, asking why do one go away, and you're telling him to try and relax. You see as the cloud very almost ominously just starts disappearing.
Wow. This place really has a sense of humor, doesn't it?
But you have no idea.
You lost yours,
It's not
though.
called the Fey Wild for nothing.
Wait, what did Shadow say? And then what did Altari say?
Shadow?
Shadow just said you lost
Mm.
your sense of humor.
Then Altari?
I just say you have no idea.
Unfortunately, I do not have any idea. I'm very stressed out of the fact that I'm in this place because it's very scary and I'm very worried for my safety. Because I'm getting highly frustrated.
Keep you
And the
safe.
sense of humor is gone because I've almost got killed by walking mushrooms that can talk.
Think
They
of this
didn't try
place
to
as
kill
being
you.
alive. And Visilva's right, they didn't try to kill you. They were just... I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what mushrooms think about, but... Just
please, if you find out,
close to
please
us.
tell them to not touch me.
Come on.
Okay. Forlan sheaths his sword and starts walking.
Continuing across the bridge, you see the river, this very like pearlescent almost water just flowing, entering into the another kind of a clearing. You see the oak tree that you could see from back there. The sheer size is daunting. It seems to stretch hundreds of feet into the air, dwarfing the surrounding canopy of trees. The base of the trunk is easily 50 foot wide, and it's this very gnarled trunk covered in creeping greenery, and you see as it's surrounded by flowering shamrocks. You see in the distance,
Shadow,
you see
perhaps?
a few of the other leprechauns kind of going about their day, and it seems almost as if some of them just disappear as they're moving around. And Visilva, you...
Yes?
I'm really sorry for this, but I have to go along with it now, and it's really funny. You see what you assume to be the cow you are looking for.
That's the cat! Yeah, Moo.
With that here, Moo, Dasan, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody, please?
Hello, everybody. Well, I'm Farmy, and first off, I'm not a moo but I appreciate it. I am playing a centaur ranger, rooted in nature. I'm a beast hunter. Spent my whole life hunting all kinds of beasts, monsters, undead, and traveling across Nocturne. I was born here, I was raised here, and I've spent my whole life here.
All right.
Welcome to the chaos.
When Visilva gets a better look at him, she's gonna be like, "You're not a moo."
I'm just gonna turn to her and stare her up and down. No, I most certainly am not. Where
Then
would you get that from?
Altari, Shadow, it's yours. And just walk behind them again.
Wait. Dasan?
Oh. Now
Son, is that really you?
there's a familiar face. You look
How is
different.
this even possible? Yeah, a lot has happened.
I can see that. Funny that our paths should cross again. What has it been? 5, 6 years?
It has been some time, yes.
And I see you keep new company. You
Where the
left
wind
the
blows.
Vale?
Not my choice.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, I would have never taken you for one to leave. What happened to you? You look so different.
I don't even know where to start. How are you even here?
Well,
I'm completely ignoring your question, by the way.
that's a bit of a tale. Like, as you know, I hunt things, and in my hunts, I've found very much like the portal that I used to go to the Vale. These portals are scattered all over Nocturne, and I started mapping them. And I got a lead that there's a portal here, and I made my way here, and to my surprise, as soon as I got here, the portal closed behind me. And I've been here for I think it's about 2 weeks, trying to get a way to open the portal to leave, or waiting for someone else to open it. When did you guys arrive? Maybe the portal's still open.
It's not still open, I can tell you that. Pretty much
There
the
goes
same
it.
thing happened with us.
Right. Did you meet all the leprechauns in the clearing with the toadstools?
The ones high on shrooms, yeah?
So that's not random.
Did they tell you their poetry as well?
Oh, the story about the mazes and the leaves and the leaves and leave the leaves?
A quick question, Farmy, are we speaking in Common or Elvish?
You started the conversation.
Can I backtrack and say I've been doing all of this in Elvish? Because I would have gone up to Dasan and be like, Dasan, and then just like blah 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 in Elvish.
Sure.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm so very sorry. I'm being very rude, you guys. Switching to Common. I don't actually know how this happened, but this is Dasan. Dasan, this is the Forged 7.
I'm pretty sure the sun is normally in the sky.
Yeah.
If I stand in front of you, I will cast a large enough shadow to block out the sun.
Shadows are my thing.
Yeah.
Don't pun me!
Altari, you always keep the strangest company. But pleased to meet all of you.
I don't know how your name is spelled normally, but I'm writing it as Dasan.
Dasan.
I suppose I am the son of the father.
Wait, does that mean your name is not Dasan?
No, my name is indeed Dasan. Not the
You said
son.
Dasan of the father.
It's just a joke.
Always the jokester.
Like the son's known us for 5 minutes and he's already like, oh god.
this poor Moo.
Yeah.
I mean, man. I mean,
Are you a moo? I mean, cow. I mean, thing that goes moo.
I get this feeling you have not been in Nocturne long. Write me if I'm wrong, but yeah, basically I'm thousands of years ago, I suppose longer, back as generations, there was a thing between the centaurs and the minotaurs, and you know, even though we are all different, we are all still people. And thus,
Would Forlan know about centaurs and minotaurs?
Give me a history check.
Because technically he would have traveled a lot, so he might have heard stories, but he couldn't remember off the top. Like, I'm wondering if he'll remember off the top of his head about it.
Sure.
Oh, that's a 2 + 1, so 3.
You've heard drunken tales of something that resembles this, but nothing that you would be willing to hedge anything on.
So, okay. So, does you centaurs and minotaurs? That's a bar's tale about humans who have uncouth relationships with animals.
maybe where you're from, where I'm from, which is here, we're all over the place. We are a people. We have
And they're
been
travelers.
here for centuries.
The Silver's just looking at you and they should be like, how many rib cages do you have?
I was waiting for this.
2 sets, right?
I have 2.
Does that mean you have 2 hearts? And 2
Yep.
stomachs? Wait, no, cow 4. 5 stomachs?
No,
They called you a
just
cow.
1.
Are you like half cow, half horse, or half cow, half man, half horse? Because your face looks like cow, but your stomach says otherwise. But then your other stomach looks something different.
I turned to Altari and Elvish like, do they always talk this much?
Yes.
While you're talking, she's gonna be like, if you had a kid with a minotaur, could it turn out looking just human or just looking like a weird cow?
Ooh, but what if he had a kid with a minotaur, and then another kid with a centaur, and then one of them popped out as a minotaur, or centaur?
With a mermaid, and then it's like a half fish, half cow.
Minotaur.
Actually,
A centaur.
if you have a relationship with a fish, does that mean the fish grows legs and a cow head?
I think I'm beginning to understand how travelers get trapped in this place for so long.
I'm sorry, like having been someone who came from a farming family, this makes no sense. Like,
Family.
you know, unfortunately, the makeup here makes no sense. Do you produce milk like a cow?
Flynn,
That's
you can't
female
just think
cow. It's clearly a dude.
I see cow head, I assume cow.
You know, nothing of it on
For
Athlete.
someone who came from a farming family, I'm surprised that you would say a cow has horns. Because
Cows
clearly
do
I
have
have
horns.
horns. And
Cows
bulls
don't
have
have
horns, and cows generally don't.
Do have horns.
depends on the cow.
They only
But
don't have
I
horns if the
am,
farmer burns the horns off as a baby.
just to clear the air,
Animals is what Visilva knows about.
I'm not a cow.
Then what are you? Whose cows can have horns?
To you and everyone else here, just to make life easier, I'm a centaur.
But the stories say that centaurs have bodies of a human, and by that I mean the top half is entirely human and the bottom half is horse.
And
I've
some
seen one-
centaurs found some minotaurs attractive, and hey, look what came out of it. Don't judge.
Wonderful. Well, hi. I'm told that I'm actually not supposed to give you my name, but I would like to ask, how offensive would it be if somebody rode on your back? And I mean the flat one, not the upright one.
I mean, there's space, and depending on the situation,
I
wouldn't
wouldn't talk about
mind.
Shadow riding you in front of Forlan. It goes badly.
Darling, me and you are going to become great friends.
Let's just be clear about something. I am nobody's noble steed. I am still a people.
Dad, I said we're going to become friends. Friends are equal, are they not?
Not always.
Okay, well, you are trying to put words in my mouth which are not there.
I wouldn't do that now. I barely
see-
know you.
Forlan raises his hand again. Excuse me, sir.
Please. Just Dasan. The only
Dasan.
sir is my father.
Okay, Dasan, sir.
Yes.
Given the fact that you have technically a human top and a horse torso at the body, does that mean you have two sets of genitals?
Oh my god, really?
No.
You would see if he did.
Are we
I'm
really
just-
going to disrespect this incredible warrior by talking about his genitals the first time we meet him? Or you guys meet him?
He's a warrior just between us.
It's a question about centaurs.
Well, this has
Anyway.
been
I
a
don't
very
even-
enlightening conversation.
I don't even
Farmy
know how
regrets
to respond to
joining
this one anymore.
campaign.
You say you've been here for how long again?
I think it's
Trying
been
to
about
leave?
2 weeks.
Well, it definitely feels like it's been 2 weeks to me right now, and I would very much like to leave.
Oh, look who's
Wait,
been
what?
here all of a sudden.
Do you... When did you say you arrived?
I want to say about 10 minutes ago, perhaps. But it could be anything between that and a day.
Okay, and... Oh. What was the date like on the other side?
It was darker and shaved.
I'm not the right person to ask that, Dasan. You know I know nothing of the material plane.
Would any of us know what the date was when we left?
I look to Shadow.
I will give you the date if you give me a moment to remember my password to my calendar.
Why are you
the calendar
passwording your
open?
calendar? You worried people are gonna steal your plans?
Because it's the fantasy calendar that I made on fantasycalendar.com. Hashtag not a sponsor, just a really cool website.
And
But
Does
if you
it
want the
keep
sponsorship, then you don't mind.
Because I can technically tell you the date, but Altari wouldn't know that, so Stash is just crazy.
It has changed since the last one I would have showed you if you're talking about anything like that. No, no. But anyway, go on. I will give you a date in a moment.
Forlan says we left well in the morning. Unfortunately, the dates. I worry because time doesn't seem to make sense apparently here.
yes, that's why I'm trying to establish a timeline.
We left the morning in our world, potentially traveled for around, say, an hour to 2 hours, and then arrived at a cave, went through the cave. That probably took us about another hour, maybe 2 hour. And then we went
Yeah.
and that was about 10 minutes ago, 10 maybe 15 minutes ago. And I mean, before that, we were already at somebody else's house to discuss this in this quest that we were on. So all in all, we potentially were, if I happen to guess, it could potentially be close to midday in the, well, where we're from.
Well, let me ask you this: where did you come from? Where were you before you went through the portal?
Well, I was on a coastal town, quite a large place, New Londis, when I heard about this portal. And I traveled a few days, found a portal which led me here. And yeah, I'm just trying to establish a timeline from when I left there till when you guys arrived, if I can establish how long that was.
It is
Then-
currently the 18th of Diestelis.
This deep voice speaks from the heavens.
The great and powerful.
So
18th of Diestelis.
is anybody going to tell me that? Other than the voice from the heavens?
Would we all be able to remember that?
Yeah, I mean,
wouldn't know that.
it's fairly common knowledge. Like, so, like you may be, like, you know, like how we are in real life with dates. You might be like, oh, it's the 8th. Oh, fuck, it's the 9th. You know, you may be a day off just out of not really paying attention, but you would at least know the month.
Okay. Forlan would be willing to tell him that, yeah.
So,
And then just the midday part, like potentially close to midday part.
oh wow. Okay. So I've been here for 3 months.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now, how did you guys end up here? Before we get to that, who are all of you?
The Forge 7, as Altari mentioned.
But there's
You can
only
tell
like
him your names.
4 of you.
He's not.
We didn't bring everyone with us today.
Unfortunately.
Frank,
Oh,
Lady
sorry.
Marshmallow, and Moon Moon are back home.
Wait, did you just You already have a pet called Moo Moo, and then you called me Moo Moo.
Moon.
Oh, I see.
You think Moon and Dasan would get along?
I'm more interested to see how Lady Marshmallow and the Sun will get along.
Altari, what kind of critters are these?
Well, Lady Marshmallow is a llama, and
Do
Moon
we
Moon
find
is
the moose with us?
The
Was
elk
an
would,
elk.
the
Was
elk,
it?
the elk would not have been able to fit through the opening.
Okay.
No, the elk
Oh,
disappeared
Malcolm.
when Fallen.
Oh, we have-
Malcolm.
We technically have Malcolm as well.
Yeah, but Malcolm disappeared when
Yeah.
Fallen went in.
Yeah. But yeah, Moon Moon is a wolf, and Frank is a zombie.
I give
Or a skeleton at this point.
Altari a very concerned look.
I said to Altari, I think when he says critters, I mean more us. I worry.
I mean, you have a point there. Fair enough. Shadow, I know I did say to you not to share your name, but Dasan is trustworthy in that regard. He's not going to make you swear your life to him in exchange for your name. That I can at least attest to.
As she says that, swear your life to me in exchange for my full name. No, I kid. I know Altari from way back, and I had the privilege of working with her on multiple occasions. And, well, if Altari is okay with anyone, I'll be okay with him.
Well, just back to the swearing of the life thing or whatever. Sweetie, you couldn't handle my life.
I wouldn't want to be in a situation where I would have to.
Well then, I can't swear my life to you because you won't be able to handle it. So, Altari, you are confusing the living shit out of me about changing the rules now. So, why is he okay?
What rules?
Because
The
he is
Fey
not from
rules?
here. He is not from the Feywild. He does not conform to the mischief of the realm, and does not. Yeah. He's not up there. I'll leave it at that.
Then, my good
He
sir,
did indeed.
my name is
Mhm.
Shadow, and she'll give it out of her hand for you to kiss. We'll see if he does.
I look at your hand. Well, you're already know I'm Dasan, and I just shake it.
Well, that's one way of doing it.
See, Fallen was like frowning whilst he was doing that.
Forlan was what?
Eyeing like his movement while he was doing that.
Did I pick up on that?
Give me a perception check.
He can win it. Fallen's not trying to hide it.
22?
You definitely saw
No.
it.
Visilva will just lean over and be like, Fallen's like really possessive of Shadow. Just watch out.
I just noticed that. Are they like a thing? He looks kind of gloomy.
I'm going to say it's complicated.
Trouble in paradise.
I think there are a couple, but I think he has another girlfriend as well, who he just hasn't broken up with yet.
For fuck's sake, Visilva.
And this is Visilva.
I do not have another girlfriend.
Does your other girlfriend know that?
This is why I roam alone. The dramas of people.
Oh dear.
Just put his hands in his head right now.
I've suddenly blanked on the other lady's name, but I'm pretty sure she thinks she's your
Liliana.
girlfriend.
Liliana.
Yeah.
I look at Forlan and I'm like, one is already a handful. Why would you burden yourself with two?
I don't have two girlfriends. I have one who I cherish and care about very much, and who I'm very much trying to sort out my stupidity with.
Says every man who has ever had more than one woman. Denial is a wonderful thing.
Gosh, he actually fucking gets it.
She and I are not. Fallen looks to Shadow. My love, I promise I'm not dating her. It was a one-time thing. She's not my girlfriend. I care about you. You are my girlfriend.
That's what they all say when they have somebody else.
Okay, we're getting sidetracked here.
I thought that's what we've been doing for the last half an hour anyway, was getting sidetracked.
Yes, and that's probably the trap of this place. Perhaps this is part of the maze that we are trying to get through, but unlike everyone else who travels through here, I would very much like to not be here for 3 months.
So does that mean the sun is a distraction?
Well, no, but I do bring bad news. It's not just one maze.
What?
Yep. So, in my time that I've been here, I've done some exploring, and there's 3 mazes. I've already gone through one of them. The guy with his silly riddles. I figured when they mentioned the clearing in the maze, I just figured, get to the center of one of them, look for a tree that would resemble one of the leaves that one of them had on their hats, because I noticed 4 of them had different leaves on their hats. Don't know if you noticed that.
We noticed the same, yep.
Did you notice they are dried up?
Yep.
So my assumption was collect some of these leaves, get fresh leaves for those 4 guys, take it back to them. But the part that threw me off was the part where you have to honor the master's request. Because they were all giggling and laughing about silly jokes that made no sense. But,
They offered you a mushroom?
I know better than to accept anything from anyone. It's not my... It's not make rodeo jokes, but... I've been in the Fae for a couple of years, in and out. So I'm familiar with the rules. Are they familiar with the rules?
Enough of them for now.
Okay, well...
This is our first experience with anything Fae related, so it didn't come up before now.
Well, it seems that our goals are somewhat aligned, sorry, and I want to get out of here. I suppose you guys want to get out of here. If you want an extra pair of hands and 4 extra hooves, I can tag along with you guys. Suggesting you tag along with me is a bit of a request.
I'm happy for you to tag along with us. nice to have the extra mind working on these ridiculous puzzles.
Are you asking or are you telling?
I am stating outright that I do not mind having additional help and expecting reciprocation of your opinions thereof.
And hey, this is not a deal that I will hold you with until death. I mean, I am Faye, but I'm not.
Leaves yet
Well,
only
technically,
3
so am
days.
I. The thing is, we're not only looking for an exit, we're also looking for other travelers who pass through here.
I don't recall anyone
Yes.
else in the time
Yeah.
I've been here.
The little leprechaun man at the mushroom circle said that a couple passed through here a few weeks ago. I don't know if he perhaps just didn't cross paths with them or if he was just fibbing. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. But we are actually looking for a young couple who fled here together. And may possibly be in danger, because I think anyone who comes here is, if they don't understand the nature of this place.
That, and I would take anything the leprechaun said with a grain of salt. But then again, Altari did wander up to me calling out for Moo Moo, so I suppose the only place you could have heard about that was from the leprechaun. And now it makes
No,
sense
that
why
was
she would
so
call
bad.
out Moo Moo, because gotta take everything they say with a bag of salt.
Well, they didn't call you Moo Moo specifically, they just said there was a cow.
I see.
I just call all cows Moo Moos.
Isn't she just precious?
Like a
I
ray
do
of
wonder.
sunshine.
I do wonder if the leprechaun that gave us the directions is perhaps the master. And to honor the request of the master is to accept his gift.
So risky, though.
It is risky. The thing is, Forlan accepted his gift, but then set it free when it tried to overtake him.
What gift?
He gave him a mushroom to eat, which he obviously didn't, and the mushrooms started sprouting more mushrooms along his satchel, which Shadow freed him of by asking them to please leave him alone, and the little mushrooms acquiesced, and off they went on their adventure.
In all the years I've spent traveling here, still nothing makes sense. The only thing that makes sense is that nothing makes sense.
That's the way to think about it. Although things in the Vale made sense most of the time.
Most of the time. Sometimes.
Now, you mentioned these mazes. You said you went through one of them. Did you make it through to the center?
I did. I'm just thinking back of what I found there.
Is that my cue? Oh, that's funny.
All I know is I cleared one of them.
And you're still here, so that one's the first.
You will have seen that in the middle of the maze. Well, the maze itself was more of a garden than a straight up maze, but that was filled with red roses. And you always felt drowsy, like a drowsy euphoria when walking through.
I relay that to everyone. And Altari, when I'm out exploring, I'm always hyper alert and focused. I just couldn't keep focused in that place. The drowsiness is hard to explain.
What does it feel like? Is it just one of those things that washes over you that's a feeling of calm and peace, or is it that sort of anxiety of, I need to get out?
No, it's more of, I just want to lay down and rest. Almost a feeling like after a bowl of amazing beef stew with dumplings, you feel that weight tugging on your eyelids.
Mm-hmm.
You just want, yes. That entire place just makes you feel like that.
Tell me, did you ever make it through the roses?
Well, I made it to what I would believe was the center. But I don't find anything of note there.
It was kind of just like a little seating area. There were some benches, like a little water fountain, but nothing special.
If I have to put words to it, I would think it would be the most romantic scene out of a romance book with the intent of getting them to fall asleep. Almost like the entire thing is a trap for couples. But that's just in my words.
I know where we're not going.
I just give a quick glance at Shadow and Forlan, and then Altari, and then them and her, and them and her. It's like, okay, maybe.
Hey, I don't know what you're insinuating, but stop it.
I mean, it could be fun to watch.
Wow, so he's a watcher.
Does Paula notice this?
I've been waiting for the shadow sass. Does Forlan notice this?
Give me a perception check.
3 plus 5, 8.
You are a little bit too upset to notice it, but like you're hearing it and but you know, not really noticing it.
Something going on?
Yes, we are discussing the mazes.
Ah. Which maze?
Although you do make an interesting point, though. I mean, aside from possibly seeing what would happen to Shadow and Forlan if they were there, you say it's a trap for couples, and we're looking for a couple.
Maybe the roses lured them in. The romance,
possible.
young love. Are they young?
Oh,
It
they
was
are.
implied, so yeah.
Well, I just mean it's easier to fool young people than it is to fool the elderly. They've already experienced stuff. But I didn't find anything when I was there.
I have no idea what to make with this. I don't know if we should explore the other mazes. I mean, aside from also trying to find Juliana and Orlando, we also need to find a way out. So it's two things we're looking for at this point.
What do you make of the place of rest?
I find it very ominous and almost like a trap.
I don't know.
It sounds... Yeah.
Forlan slowly walks over to Shadow and says, "Milady, is there any inclination as to what they're speaking about? I'm worried right now."
Apparently, roses make you sleepy.
Roses?
Roses. Yes. In one of the mazes, there's roses. And they are inclining to it being a trap for young couples. Since it's kind of romantic, I guess.
Does... I'm sorry?
I said if you swing that way, if it's a thing for you or not.
The scary romance stuff? Sorry?
The roses, I mean.
No. I mean, surely it shouldn't be that bad. Roses can't kill you. It's got thorns at worst.
That it is so cliche.
I fully agreed there.
The thing that is bothering me is the fact that he's only mentioned 3 mazes and we are looking for 4 leaves.
I mean, look around you. There's giant, there's shamrocks all around us.
So then we are looking at it wrong. Then the leaves are not in the mazes at all.
Does that mean you're looking for locations that are around this? How big is this place, by the way? You've been here for so long, and yet
it's not that insane. But what I do know is we do need the leaves to get to the Palace of Spires.
Maybe the palace is the 4th maze.
That much I have figured out. So it could be that your young couple somehow talked their way through the clues and already got there, or that they have fallen prey to any of the mischievous tricks these leprechauns have played on them, which will make everything just so much harder.
Crazy idea, but since the mushrooms were inclined to take requests, what are the chances if we ask the rest of the plants if they've seen them?
Ooh,
Not a
pretty
bad thought.
pictures.
do you think all the plants will be able to talk in this area?
Well, we know the mushrooms
Worth a
do.
try.
So should we maybe go speak to the mushrooms?
The very
I will-
thought of it is making me feel extremely stupid.
Yeah. No.
Can I just lean over to the nearest plant and ask it if it can speak?
You can ask it, sure.
Hello, do you speak common by any chance?
No response.
Give it a gentle pat. Okay, this one doesn't talk. And Visilva's just gonna go around talking to random plants until one answers.
I love it.
It's messing with my sanity. I do not like it.
That is what this entire place is all about. Also, Visilva, if they do speak to you, do not instantly believe everything they say.
It's fine. If one of them answers, I'll call one of you guys over.
Call Altari or Dasan. They clearly know what's going on.
Just in my periphery, keeping a very stern eye on Visilva.
We shouldn't let her wander.
I've got my eye on her.
So, while Visilva looks for that, what should we do?
Well, look, this place isn't big. The mazes are all a very short distance to the east. I would say, instead of, I don't know if it's a thing or not, but instead of going around talking to random plants that might in the end just lie to you, I think maybe we start by checking out the other mazes. I went through them a little bit, but didn't clear them fully. I didn't. Let's just say I got lost in some of the herbs and nature, and there's a lot to take in here. And nothing in my life is a rush. You know, I take everything a day at a time. Or 3 months at a week, apparently.
If Visilva was still close by, she would 100% ask you if you can live off grass.
I can, but I don't. I do not enjoy the taste. I guess we should just clear the air now. You mentioned your pets earlier, and I did not know how to react, and Altari did not give me any insight how to react. I am a beast and monster hunter by trade. I enjoy meat. I hunt for a living.
The thought of a centaur eating meat seems so weird.
Well, we are omnivores.
I am uncomfortable. I'm going to go back to talking to the plants.
Okay.
If you were a shape, you'd be an omnomnomagon. Sorry, that was Dash.
You said you get lost in the herbs and the stuff, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it would be useful to have a bird's eye view of things.
Well, when I say I got lost, I don't mean like me, Dasan. I physically got lost. It's just there's so many interesting plants here, and I live my life roaming the realms. So anything I can put to use, I want to study. And there's a lot here to study.
So what you're saying is people who have no real attachment to plants should be the ones that are looking for things?
I think what he's saying is he got easily distracted.
Yes. Not easily distracted in the sense of, oh, look, there's a flower, like some wonderful people. More in the sense of I have no real rush to get out of here. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting out of here. Nobody likes being stuck in a place, but take the moment and learn what you can from a place and then move on.
I look at Shadow and Altari and I say, as interesting as his outlooks on this entire situation is, I do worry for our sakes, because while we do not fully understand how the time works in this area, we still have a
limited amount of time.
A flight to catch?
How would we get him on the airship?
He can be the +1. We just said Blaze went missing.
Where do we put him?
What do you mean? He's an animal, isn't it?
Yes, he's. Have you seen his size? Just for the sake of everyone, how tall is Dasan compared to everyone else?
I am. I'm small. I'm very small. I'm 8 foot, weighing 1,800 pounds.
Oh wow,
Wow.
yeah, that is so small.
Very small. You literally have a fucking half you right now.
He is almost 3 Forlans.
No, fuck, really, like legitimately.
Is that how you measure things in this party? How many Forlans is something? Because I'm sure I've seen some plants here that are 2.5 Forlans.
Trees.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Oh.
we have to make sure that we get back in time because unfortunately I don't feel like missing.
Things.
Oh, again, flight. It sounds so wrong. Because if we do, then we lose all trail that we or potential of being able to find a way towards Shadow Ship.
Well, if you guys are on a timeline, I'd suggest we stop talking and we start acting.
Well, you say you've explored the one of the roses, so I say we just go and explore the other mazes, and you can get as distracted as you want by the plants, and maybe even, I don't know, document in your journal what you find, and we all work together and just figure out how the hell to get to the... What was that place? The Palace of Spires? Perhaps that's the 4th maze, perhaps that's the 4th leaf.
Or perhaps that's our portal out of this place.
Possibly. Where did you say these mazes were? Towards the east?
All 3 of them are towards the east. It's not very far.
I say we get going.
You know how to get there?
Yes. East. It's not even a kilometer away. It's literally a few minutes east. Well, follow me then.
I'm gonna... Yeah. Looking around just to make sure I can still see Visilva.
If I see you guys start moving, I'll follow.
I'm just gonna call out to you. Visilva, we're moving along, so please just don't go too far. Actually, come back, please.
Follow. I just double checked. Unfortunately, talk with plants or whatever is not on my spell list.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Damn.
Like even an option.
So are we heading off, right?
We're going to the maze. We're gonna see how the hell to get out of this place. Walkie.
Okay. Forlan's going to like I said, we're all walking now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walking and talking.
Sorry?
We're walking and talking.
Cool. Forlan's going to approach Shadow and say, should we be worried?
About?
The roses and the bad for young couples thing.
Really? Or at least not to me, no.
Can I ask you something?
Go for it.
Did I ask for a question?
That all depends. Will you swear your life to me for the answer?
He's already done that.
Giving my life to you. You know my life is in your hands.
You are absolutely no fun.
Would you like me to grovel for you to take me into your loving and caring embrace?
No. You missed it. You messed it up.
Fine.
Moment has
Wow.
passed.
You see Forlan stop for a moment, and then like he gets down on both knees and he says, and he like looks up to the sky and is like, "I'm sorry, my lady. I'm so sorry. My heart bleeds for you. You do not understand. My universe falls apart when you are not there."
Take mathematics down a notch, but okay. What is your actual question?
Forlan stands up. What, you didn't like my dramatics? It's the reason why I do it.
On a moment, darling, I have a bunch of other shit that needs to happen before I can deal with your dramatics.
Okay. Firstly, I'm sorry about earlier.
We are not discussing that right now.
Do I at least have a chance of being able to say I'm sorry?
Why not? We are ready to discuss it by all means.
Okay. Understood.
Other questions?
No. Just know that I'm sorry. And Forlan walks a little bit further.
I was waiting for you to make a scene about me not being worried about the young couple thing, but
Well, I trust that between the two of us, you're the logical thinker. Of course, you're not going to be scared about it. You're smarter, stronger, more grounded. Of course, you're going to be the anchor between the two of us. That's why I trust that I can put my faith in you.
it's a very nice change of pace.
I always have trusted you.
Until what extent?
Oh, I'm the one that should be working harder to earn your trust. So while I do know that I act rash and I do without thinking, I do want you to know that I still care greatly. I still do want happiness and all that for you. And I respect your position, not only as captain, but also as, well, at least I'm hoping right now, still somebody I can share life with.
Well, I mean, what is our original catchphrase anyway? You are the chaos to my control, and I'm the control to your chaos. Why we work in some messed up universe, but it works.
Agreed. So, I want you to know that no matter what, I'm always on your side. Nothing will stand in my way of being by your side.
I will say, like in a whisper underneath her breath, we will see about that.
Ooh.
Fallen will nod and say, I believe I will prove it.
Arrogance, I see.
Confidence more. After all, I still have a bet to win.
Well, fuck off with your bit, okay?
Sorry. And Fallen will smile and then continue walking.
What direction are you going? Are you, and I'm going to specifically ask Dasan, who would likely be the one to lead you. Would you be heading back through the, to the clearing and kind of out like that? Would you be going south through the forest? Do you want to go north through the forest?
I'm going east to the clearing and then southeast direction, and I'm gonna take the southern route around the lake
All right.
to get to the mazes.
All right. After not too long having cleared the bridge back to the clearing, the leprechaun still lying there in an absolute hysterical fit of laughter. Crossing the bridge on the southwest and north and the southeastern side, sorry. Traveling through the southern route, you cut through a little bit of the forest before you come into a bit of a clearing. Well, not a clearing, but a slightly less dense, let's say it like that. A less dense part
Glade.
of the forest. A glade would be a good way to describe it, yes. And this is where I will pause for just a moment while we wait for Shadow to return. Yeah, welcome to the chaos.
There's a lot of mansplaining to do.
As Tarquin, I'm playing as in character. So some of the questions that got asked is in character.
Oh, don't worry. I answered all your questions in character. The ones that I had answers to.
The joys of being asked questions we don't know the answers to.
Well, in all fairness, curiosity, they always say curiosity kills the cat. I'm assuming curiosity in this situation almost kills Fallen, so...
Well, if that's the case, you would be happy to learn the full phrases. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back.
I was just going to go and bring that up.
I like the first part.
What? You don't like cats being alive?
No. I like
you said no.
The point of curiosity.
No, I don't like cats being alive.
Wow.
But side-eyeing you right now.
I promise I like cats.
You just don't like alive cats.
What about Schrodinger's cat?
Well, that you can't tell whether it's alive or not until you know what is inside or look inside. So Schrodinger's cat is unfortunate there. I'm
But
just
you
saying.
like it though.
I like the theory. I like the cat. Schrodinger's a bit wild.
There may or may not be a cat in this box. Shut up.
I'm just saying, legitimately, it Fallen is cooked.
And he didn't even eat the mushroom. Imagine if he did, after seeing them run away.
There's still a lot I'm trying to deal with Fallen right now.
Oh, it's an interesting dynamic.
That it is.
Wait, are we still doing this live?
Yes.
Mhm.
The session's not over. I'm just waiting for. I was waiting for Shadow's return so that we could resume and end the session. Ironically, we haven't ended the session because I'm waiting to end the session.
Nice.
Now that is it's Schrodinger's end of the session. Okay, so as you,
What if we don't want to end though?
it's our first stream. We're not about to do a 24-hour stream. We'll do a 24-hour charter stream one day, but not yet.
When you're big and grown up.
Exactly.
Careful, you're in the Fae. We might hold you to that.
I am not in the Fae. You are in the Fae. I am everywhere, but I am nowhere.
You are the Fae.
I am the Fae.
I both am and not all at once.
As you exit the thicker parts of the forest, entering into the more of a glade, the light now able to hit the ground again, just like in little splotches. You see clearings and paths just starting to be a little bit more common. Many of which have sign of regular use. You see discarded bottles, trampled earth, and ashes from old bonfire. You hear the clearing ahead, alive with the sounds of music and laughter. And knowing the area, Dasan, you would know this to be the little part of the forest where the satyrs stay. And
this is going to confuse Forlan even more.
and it is here that we will end our first
So we've met the cow, now we're gonna meet the goats.
Yes, the cow.
Gosh, goat people.
I say with love.
Can we really fall into goat people?
That was really fun though.
It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that we've got Dasan in now. Hope you all had fun.
I did. I just thought of how I am Visilva in real life when Fallen apologized now about not disliking cats. Is the other day some people at work were making a joke about poisoning their neighbor's cat because it was peeing on the carpet, and then 3 people came to me afterwards to apologize and say it was just a joke. And I didn't even say anything. I was just in passing the conversation.
Oh, they should know.
That's,
They should know that's a threat.
that is amazing. But thank you for a wonderful game, everybody, and to all of those who have joined us on stream, thank you very much for being part of it. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching it there. We stream on Tuesdays at 7:30 South African time. It is very weird to say that on stream, but I'm saying it for the YouTube people. And if you've missed some of the stream, you are welcome to watch it back, or the video will be uploaded onto YouTube 1 week after the episode. We are currently looking at getting the audio. Well, I say looking at. I know how to do it. I just need to get to the point of being able to ripping the audio and sticking it onto something like Spotify or wherever you can find podcasts, or if you just want to listen to it. That will come at a later stage though, but we will have all the episodes up at some point. But for now, you can find us on Twitch and YouTube, and also follow us on Instagram and everything else that's in our socials down in the doobly-doo. And once again, a massive thank you to Stash, who is the Swiss on all the socials, to OSAV Media, and to Travis Savoie for the wonderful music and arts and all the fun things that you see on this channel. Everyone has done an absolutely incredible job. Thank you to my amazing players for just being such amazing people to play with. And thank you to everyone who has watched this, whether you're watching this live a week later or a year later, I don't know. Maybe it's 2035 and you're catching up on 10 years of Roll Without a Trace. I don't know. One can hope. But until next week, Tuesday, I nearly said Monday. Until next week, Tuesday, thank you all for joining us. I wish you all a wonderful night. And until then, don't forget to claim the stars. Good night, everybody.